Hello and welcome. This is Cherie with Rehashfiber. I am so happy. It is fall and it is pumpkin season. Today I'm going to tell you all about this wonderful pumpkin. Later in the show, I'll share with you a couple of fiber festivals and a couple of drop spindle clips. We're going to get into this gorgeous pumpkin. It is the Welted Gourd and Pumpkin Set by Sarah E. Anderson, and you can purchase the pattern on Knit Picks. I found this pattern, over a year ago or so. Immediately I thought, look at that, that's really cool. The welted sections just make it really, just a really cool texture and look to the pumpkin. So I set it aside knowing I was going to do it. Now to tell you about the pattern, it comes with 3 different sizes of pumpkins so that you really can make a set. You use worsted weight yarn and it calls for a US 8 needle. I had never done welts before. The pattern is very explicit on how to do everything, including pictures and all. So it was great. But the concept is you are knitting a flat piece of fabric and then it gets rolled over and scrunched at both ends to make your pumpkin. But as you're going along knitting that fabric, you're catching it and going back on itself and knitting a row together to make this wonderful welted look. So I thought it was just really fun and a neat thing to see come about in my hands. Now, my story for the pumpkin changes a little bit because I had a very different kind of yarn. My daughter and her boyfriend went to Iceland a couple of summers ago and they brought me home this beautiful Álafosslopi pure Icelandic wool yarn from a lovely town in northern Iceland. Of course, because it was orange, I thought, okay, that could be a pumpkin. And it's neat because it has flecks of color in it that make it very interesting. And another aspect to it is that it is very coarse and rough. So immediately I knew I wouldn't be able to make something next to skin with it. However, all yarn and fiber, as long as it's natural, has its place in this world. And wool, I love especially, it just has such a beautiful high frequency that is good for us. So it's wonderful. So this became the yarn for the pumpkin, but very different. I needed to use larger needles, different stitch counts, different spacing between my welts, and frankly, I wasn't even quite sure how it was going to work out. I thought, well, it is a small enough project that if it doesn't work out at all, it's not going to take too long to redo. So it was just kind of like a little adventure in my hands as I was going. Once I had just a little bit of yarn left, I knew that was time for my fabric to be done, and I did the finishing off of the pumpkin. Now, how about this, folks? That is all that is left from that ball of yarn. I was like, whew, thank goodness. So that worked out really well. And then, of course, when you're done, there is a nice little instructions on how to make your stem. So I thought, well, there you go. You know how all pumpkins in the patch come out a little bit differently? This is my taller, skinnier pumpkin. So thank goodness it all worked out and I was able to share it with you. And what's neat is that this very coarse but fabulous wool from Iceland will now be a showpiece that will last for a very, very long time and be part of a collection. So glad it worked out. But anyhow, I invite you to check out the pattern and have some fun with it. You can see here, she made them out of 3 different colors, but you can do, a large variety of things. You can get really funky or just very natural. Have some fun with it. But it's a great pattern to do. Goes quickly too, like 2.5 days and it was done. Very fun to do quick projects because you feel a great sense of accomplishment in a short time. So, alrighty. So I do want to tell you about the 2 fiber festivals that are top in my brain lately. Is that the Trailing of the Sheep in Ketchum, Idaho is coming up. It's October 8th through 12th. I will be going out for that. I think I'm going to bust. I'm so excited because they move the sheep from the high country to the low country and bring them all through town, and we get to see that. But that's what happens on the final day. leading up to that, the whole 5 days prior, 4 days prior, are all different kinds of festivals and events and things like that, all kind of involving sheep. So I'm gonna go out there and be in complete heaven. So that's happening there. And then Florida is getting their first fiber festival in January. This year, that will be the weekend of the 24th and 25th of January. I am not a coordinator. I don't have anything to do with it, except I'm going to be attending it. And I'm so excited that it's coming. I am talking about it. I will plan on hanging out for the whole 2 days. I will love it. I'm gonna set up a table, if it allows. I'm not even sure what the venue is like, but so that, we can have a home base. If you come look for me at the table, sit, shop, sit, talk, you know how it goes. It's kind of gonna be like a 2-day at a great big yarn store. Because this year it is only a marketplace, so only things are being sold. There's not classes, there's not sheep there. It's just getting rolling. But I invite you to come to Florida. It's a great time of year to be here. And yeah, it should be a whole lot of fun. So that's what's going on there. And right now, I just want to share with you, I went up to Niagara Falls and Niagara-on-the-Lake. Of course, my drop spindle came, and I wanted you to just see the fun I was having. And what I really appreciate is that now kind of everybody's clued in on helping me with these videos. My girlfriends, my husband, my daughters, they're like, okay, she's spinning, we're shooting. It's a lot of fun. All right, everybody, have a great autumn. Happy knitting, your Welted pumpkin. Thanks for watching.